I've been feeling emotional, thinking about you, babe. What can we focus on? What we should do? Tell me the truth, 'cause I don't wanna see you with somebody else. And I've been feeling lonely in this king-size bed. I'm trying not to worry about the things you say. I ain't got the time, you're always on my mind. Baby, why you playing with my love? I'm trying to be patient with you now. I'll never be sober if you don't pull me close.
Well, this is what is so great about a dual sport. Woo. I'll tell you what, guys, I'll just go ahead and start off this video and just tell you the honest truth right off the bat. This is only my 3rd season riding dirt. Pretty much my 2nd season taking it seriously at all. So I'm not the greatest rider, but I'm going to show you what I'm capable of on this bike. And I'm not even that good of a rider. Some of my friends that are good riders, I let them hop on this thing and they absolutely tear it up back here. So this thing is damn capable off-road. Whoop. Yeah, baby. And with these aftermarket tires I got, you know, mud ain't a problem. Look at that. Look at that. Oh my gosh, it's like a pond. It's like a pond. Nothing. And then rip. Like nothing. Now I'll tell you guys, when I first got this bike, yeah, it was my first dirt bike, so I was a novice rider. But at the same time, I was very, very unimpressed with the performance of the stock tires that came on this. If you're going to do some serious off-roading, that's going to be the first thing you want to change. These tires I have on here now are sick. Absolutely sick. They're so confidence inspiring on this bike. Ooh, look at these ruts. I'm trying not to get too muddy. Like I said, guys, I'm pretty much a beginner rider, so whatever you see me doing, rest assured, this bike could probably do a hell of a lot more. Woo! And man, oh man, is it fun. I will say, due to the wet weight of this being higher than like a YZ, yet the power being lower and it loses some of that snap, you definitely do feel the weight kind of manhandling this thing around a little bit more than you would on a true motocross bike. But for me, having the on-road ability of this and also the maintenance intervals, that's something that I can live with. Big time. Big time worth it. Woo! Alright, we made it. Yeah, baby. She's got some pep. She's got some pep for these single track trails, I'll tell you that. Whew. Oh boy. Wow, that mud is deep. Oh my gosh. Sorry guys, that threw me for a loop. I didn't expect it to be so deep. Yeah! Get it! Woo! Man, this bike is so much fun. Oh, that's gnarly. Ooh. Alright guys, listen to this puppy roar. Hold on. Man, she's bad. Okay guys, so here we are on the Wr250r. Just doing a little riding around town, I guess you could say. And we're going to go ahead and hop on the highway. I'm going to show you that this bike is indeed highway capable. And keep in mind, these aren't the stock tires, you know, these are knobbier, so that does bring down the highway performance a little bit. So bear in mind that it would perform even better if it was stock, but I'm going to show you that this bike is definitely rideable on the highway. It's definitely not the best tool for the job, and it's not ideal, but if you need this bike to be, you know, highway capable for whatever reason, or you're going to buy it as your only bike or your first bike, whatever, I want to show you that, you know, it's possible, it's doable. I put some highway miles on here. And now this is part of what makes this such a great bike, because yeah, a DRZ or, you know, other dual sports can do this, but in my opinion, this is the most capable off-road of any of the dual sports, basically, unless you get into like the KTMs and the Huskies. But you know, this thing, you're doing oil changes every 3,000 miles or whatever, whereas unlike the KTMs and the Huskies, it goes by the hours like the motocross bikes do. And I don't know if you can tell, but my bars are shaky. I definitely got some shake, but I'm up to highway speeds like nothing, and you know, it's doable. And the only real reason that I have this shakiness on here is because of these knobby tires. But I clearly remember when this thing was stock, it wasn't too bad. But even with these real aggressive off-road tires, I mean, we're doing it. We're cruising on the highway, so it's possible. It is a little sketchy, but it's possible. It's pretty windy today too, so that adds a little bit to the sketchiness. But back to what I was saying, you know, this bike has 6 gears and it has tall gearing, so it's capable of doing things like this. But at the same time, this is a very capable bike off-road. So if you're looking for a good all-around dual sport, well, you know, I'd say if you're looking for a dual sport that's, you know, very off-road biased, but can still handle the freeway, this is probably a good choice for you. And if you're not riding freeway, you're just riding around in town, this thing is excellent, because you know, if you're on roads where the speed limits are 25, 35, even 45, this thing is punchy and it'll out-accelerate a lot of cars. So you're not really going to have an issue with that. And then obviously it's capable off-road. So, you know, in my opinion, this is the best dual sport that there is. If they made a Wr250, I would possibly change my mind, but the only issue there is it would be heavier, and this is already, you know, kind of pushing my comfort zone for the weight when it comes to off-road riding. The brakes work well on the straight, even with these knobby tires. Slowed right on down from the freeway, no problems. The one thing I mentioned, but you will want to keep in mind if you are planning on buying this bike for in-town riding and whatnot, is that it has a very high seat height. You know, some of the KTMs and Huskies and more like dirt bikes with plates is what I'd call them, they might be higher. But then again, maybe not, because the seat height on this thing stock, it was pretty ridiculous. Pretty ridiculously high. If you're tall, obviously, I guess it don't matter, but if you're not tall, then just keep in mind this bike's going to be high. So when you're stopping at lights and stuff, that might be something you care to know. Now for me, I have that spiral step down seat and the Yamalink plus the stock lowering option. And even though these knobby tires brought it up a little bit higher, I'm 5'6", and look at this. I could pretty much flat foot one side, or you know, I could tippy toe both sides. And it's a light bike, so you know, that's more than adequate. That's going to get the job done for sure. So if you're worried about, you know, being too short to ride a dual sport, ironically, even though the Wr250r is one of the higher dual sports, it might be one of the better options, because it's pretty easy just to throw a couple parts on here and have a pretty low dual sport that's still very capable, which is exactly what I've done. And man, this bike is so fun riding around town like this. It's so light and nimble, you know, even with these knobby tires. I can't even imagine how much fun it would be having supermoto tires on this, or you know, riding a Wr250X. See, that's something I'd love to do that I might be doing in the future, but there's a couple issues with that. That's another thing I'll mention to you guys. If you plan on buying this and, you know, doing a supermoto conversion, it's probably not the greatest idea, because the brakes on this are a different size than the brakes on the Wr250X. So it's not a direct conversion. And that's why, you know, I've been kind of dancing around throwing supermoto tires on this, because I primarily use this bike as a dirt bike. I just like to be able to ride on the street. So it kind of, you know, makes no sense for me to throw supermoto tires on this thing. Although I'd really, really like to try it, or try, you know, an X variant. Because man, this thing is so nimble and light. I mean, obviously it's a dirt bike, but it really does handle the town and streets well. Very well. And it's snappy. Oh yeah. And with this FMF pipe, man, does it sound good. Yeah, I'll be totally honest with you guys, you know. I had a Ninja 250, a 2008, I believe it was. And would I rather ride a Ninja 250 or this on the street? I would pick this. And at lower speeds, I don't know if it's just because it's nimble, or maybe it is a little snappier and because it's lighter, but this thing kind of does feel quicker than a Ninja 250. So in the off chance that you're somebody looking for a first bike, and that's the reason you're looking into this, I wouldn't hesitate. This would be a great first bike. And oh my gosh, you could see my levers and stuff. My turn signals are falling off, as you've seen. I haven't, you know, I'll admit I haven't taken the best care of this bike. It's been dropped a significant amount of times. And not only has it been dropped, like, I'm not even going to lie to you guys, I pretty much don't do any maintenance on this thing at all. You know, whenever I break levers to the point where they're not usable, I change them. All right, and whenever it needs an oil change, I change the oil. But I hardly ever, you know, sometimes I clean the chain and stuff, yeah, but that's it. That's all you need to do. That's what I just love so much about this bike, is it's so funny because it makes such a great street bike. It's just such a fun, snappy little bike, and you almost get that feeling like you're doing something wrong. because it really does feel like you're on a true dirt bike. Yeah, it's not quite as peppy, although it does have a higher top speed. It's not quite as peppy, but just the way it handles and reacts to your steering inputs and braking, it really feels like you're on a true dirt bike. And it looks so much like a true dirt bike too that people sometimes look at you strange, and it just adds to that. It just adds to that fun feeling of riding this thing. You know, I enjoy riding this just as much, if not more, as I enjoy riding my Ducati Panigale V2. So that says a lot. Props to Yamaha. This bike's been the same for a number of years. Basically, haven't changed much. And that's good, because that means that parts are, you know, readily available all the time. And it also means that you could pick one of these bad boys up used and get yourself a great deal, which is sweet. You know, I bought mine new, just, you know, I don't even know why, I got a new job and I was excited, and I was 18, so I just went ahead and bought it new. But you could get a great deal on these things used, and they're tanks. So you could buy it used, just, you know, do your inspection and everything, but rest assured that it's probably going to be pretty reliable, because I beat the living hell out of mine and she's running strong. Hey, what's up guys? If you enjoyed the video, then be sure to subscribe, and if you'd like to see more videos on the Wr250r, I'm thinking about maybe doing a build series, you know, changing out the sprockets and the fenders and everything, then go ahead and let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed the video, go ahead and leave the thumbs up. Thank you guys.